Hey, good evening. This is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How you doing this evening? Hope that you had a wonderful day and you're ready to kick back. Or some people, and I keep forgetting this, some people don't necessarily just work days. Some people are evening workers and overnight workers. And let me tell you something, I take my invisible hat off to you because that is not an easy thing to do. And that's precisely what we're going to talk about today. Things that are not necessarily the easiest things to do. Let me tell you something. Last week, if you've been following me on my video version of me, you might have noticed that last Monday, there were two video uploads that I noticed went up practically simultaneously. I'm like, wait a minute. I purposely schedule my uploads to go on precisely for 5 a.m. every single day. The way you guys get your Monday through Friday uploads at a reasonable time, starting 5 a.m. forward. And I'm like double checking some stuff. And I said, why am I looking at the Tuesday video on a Monday morning? I said, either I don't have enough caffeine in my coffee, or, I just was like wiping my eyes. Cause when I get up in the morning, of course, I'm going to double check my work to make sure that it, got up okay and all this and all that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at the one that was scheduled for today, meaning that day, excuse me. And then all of a sudden I see Tuesdays to go with it. I'm like, what are the folks thinking? Like, Jan, I like your videos, but you don't have to double dose me with the video like minutes apart. That did not happen on my end. Totally not happen on my end. I'm like, and there was a glitch there on that platform. There was a glitch because I couldn't even get my analytics up to check my analytics. So I'm like, okay, something's wrong with this picture. So there was a technical glitch for whatever the reason. I don't know the reason. I have no control over it. But you guys ended up, with a double dose video within 10 minutes if you were paying attention. But not that I expect anyone to pay attention to that at 5 a.m. and so on. But I certainly did because it's my project. You know what I'm saying? So, but in the grand scheme of life, well, that was like a little bit embarrassing and I had no control over it. In the grand scheme of life, a double video within a few minutes of each other is totally a molehill. Now, as a result of what happened, I didn't have a video scheduled for Tuesday. So Tuesday, 5 a.m. didn't exist. I left the post to let you guys know. Sorry. The Tuesday morning one was not to go up because, there's only so many videos that are going to fit in the spaces. In my opinion, I'm not going to like triple dose you like that. But that's what happened. But on a grand scheme of things, that's what I call a life molehill. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, I was really PO'd. I wish I could say it the full way, but I was really PO'd, okay? I'm like, I didn't do this. Why did that happen? Blah, 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 blah. It's a funny thing. If something is like technically my fault directly, I have no problem owning up to it, fixing it. I'll admit it's my fault, it's something I did. But when it's like, oh, like I didn't do that, you know what I mean? But stepping away from that a week later, it was a life molehill. Question to you this evening. Do you tend to make mountains out of those molehills? I would say that probably 100% of the population on planet Earth has at least one time or another made a mountain, a big deal, out of nothing. Here's an example. Did you ever go food shopping hangry? What is hangry? Hangry is a combination of being hungry, which results in a little bit of anger. Let's say you had an argument with a neighbor, before you went into the store. So you're like a little bit of PO'd on that end. And plus you're hungry because let's say you skipped lunch that day for whatever the reason, you were totally busy. You just didn't have your lunch. So then you go to the grocery store hangry, which by the way, I highly do not, as a frugal person, do not write this down in your mind. Do not recommend on the highest level. Do not shop while you are hangry. Do not shop while you are, even if you're just only hungry. Do not shop if you're angry. You're going to throw things in that shopping cart that you knew didn't even know existed most of the time. People are just going to tear through the store, just throw things. Just imagine the visual. Throwing this thing, that thing. Oh, I don't care if that oil is $25. I'll throw it in my cart. And believe me, nowadays we can't play that game. Hangry shopping has got to go. That is a prime example of making a mountain out of a molehill. Cure, make sure you eat. Make sure you eat. If the other cure, if you are like really PO'd at that person you had that disagreement with, take a minute, decompress. I don't even care if you grab yourself a cup of coffee, even if you do pay for it outside in a case like that. But just even if you just have water, whatever, just remove yourself from the situation and allow yourself to decompress. Oftentimes, that mountain will definitely shrink down to a molehill. Okay. Here's another situation where mountains they're born out of molehills. When you're trying to explain something to someone and you are very clearly explaining that thing to someone, and yet that person has not paid 1 ounce of attention to you. And as a result of that, their mind is like on, like, I don't know what it is. It's in oblivion, whatever. Don't get me wrong, oblivion could be a nice place where you're trying to get away from troubled times. But just saying, in the real world, you got to get with it and be alert. So here's the thing, and that person is not paying attention to what you said that was of vital importance. For example, let's say I'm supposed to meet you. Okay, let's meet at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. That person at that moment, their mind is like far, far away. And even like you're saying to yourself, did that person really get what I said? That we are to meet at 8 p.m. And they'll go, yeah, yeah. They're just shushing you up. Yeah, I'll meet you at 8 p.m. on Saturday. They're, yeah, and you to death. Okay. And part of you walks away like not convinced that that person really knows, but you want to trust them. You don't want to make it look like, you don't want to make it look like that you don't want to be disrespectful. So you don't say anything, you don't upset the apple cart, and you hope and pray that everything works out for the best. And then there you are standing stranded, freezing somewhere on a, you know, at a location and looking at your clock, your time on your phone, going, but didn't we? Then you call the person, they're home, kicking back. Yeah, what are you talking about? They go, what are you talking about? And there you are. All right. I'm not saying that that's an ideal situation. That's a terrible situation. Very annoying. But on the grand scheme of things, like looking around, this is what I'm trying to say. Use this method. If something like that happens, of course, get it off your chest, say, blah, 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 and end it at that. End the conversation that politely and sweetly, just chalk it up to one of those, weird things in life. But don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Little glitches like that can turn into maybe friendships being broken forever, throwing away an entire friendship forever because of that. Hey, listen, none of us are perfect. That's the bottom line. But this could also, ruin your, financial life in a way. Are you making a mountain out of a molehill? Are you making it such a big deal? It's insurmountable, your life, to think that you can't have that outside coffee every day. It must be outside coffee, or it must be that bagel that some stranger decides to slap a little bit of extra cream cheese on, and you like the way that person puts that, a sandwich together because, after all, it's much too difficult to, make your own sandwich once in a while. That's what I'm trying to say. Get over that. Get over the little inconveniences. Get over that. Put your step forward. Try your best. Instead of paying higher prices, I don't have time to chop those vegetables. Ay, 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 ay. When you compare pre-chopped, pre-cut vegetables and fruit to what you can save by just simply bringing home the fruit or the vegetable whole. By the way, I'll be honest with you. I don't really trust cut up fruit and vegetables that's been laying around exposed like that because the decay rate is really, really rapid. Keep that in mind. That's very important. So these are situations where, like, I'm too tired to cook. So you plan ahead. I agree. I am not the most active person post 5 p.m. Ask any of my family or friends. They know, oh, Janet, don't bother her after 5 o'clock. I mean, I'll be polite, but I'm like, "Yeah, hello, how are you?" That's because I'm a morning person. Okay, I'm one of those people that wake up early and probably annoy the heck out of the rest of the world. Just say it, just say it. So anyway, let's stop making mountains out of molehills. Let's stop letting it affect our financials. That hangry shopping cost someone money at the checkout, extra money that didn't have to be. The person that didn't pay attention, well, that cost somebody else maybe gasoline driving to the location. Okay? Cutting up your own vegetables and fruit saves you money. Let's stop making mountains out of molehills. In the meantime, this has been Jan from New York City. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And I'm going to look for my outro and then I'll come back and say bye bye. Hang on. Have an amazing, fantastic evening, and please don't hesitate to share this broadcast. Take good care. Bye bye.